Hey everyone, I'm Big John and welcome to another episode of the Diz Ability Show. So, I've been contacted recently about asking questions about wheelchair dependency, and I think this is. So originally this week I was going to talk about character dining, but this one I think is more important because as it's kind of a big deal because there are some people that go to Disney who are completely wheelchair dependent. I mean, they can't get out of the things. So, I want to talk about some of the attractions people can do if they are wheelchair dependent. Now, there are some of the boat attractions like Small World, Three Caballeros, Navi River Journey. Those boats can some of their boats are wheelchair boats that you can put people like those on. Are good, and also mostly I think they can do shows mostly like say PhilharMagic, Muppet Vision, Tough to Be a Bug. All those have places in the back row where you can put someone in a wheelchair and they can still have a fun time watching the show. And let's see, and also the Disney Pixar Short Films Festival at Epcot, and the I think the Bird Show at Animal Kingdom. I'm not sure about that, but also like one of the maybe a restaurant like Sci-Fi at Hollywood Studios. You don't have to sit in a card table at Sci-Fi, especially if you're wheelchair dependent. There are actually tables in the back row of in the back of the restaurant, actual tables that you can sit down in, and you still get the same feel for it, you know? And also there are a lot of places to chill. If you've been with us for a long time, you would know some of seen our top 5 places to chill series, like Pinocchio's Village House at the Magic Kingdom, or ABC Commissary at Hollywood Studios. Those are great places to chill and relax for people. And let me know in the comments if any of these work for you, if you know someone who is completely wheelchair dependent. And as always, let me know in the comments if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, and I'll make sure it gets a future episode of the show. And now it's time for this week's Top 5. This week's Top 5 is going to be my top favorite kids rides at Disney. So, at number 5, the Tomorrowland Speedway. This is a great way to for kids to introduce themselves to driving on the highway. Adults let their kids take the wheel, but sometimes it's kind of hard to tell the grown-ups from the kids, you know what I mean? All right. Number 4, Dumbo. Dumbo is a great ride for little kids. Most of you now know, there are 2 Dumbos, and when you choose the standby Dumbo, usually when there's not a pandemic going on, you'll get a pager, and you can just play under the circus tent until it's your turn to ride. Hopefully that comes back once this whole pandemic is over. All right, number 3 is Winnie the Pooh. The Main Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. This is a great ride, especially for kids who adore Winnie the Pooh. And there's a little hidden Easter egg in the ride. As some of you may know, that area used to house Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in Florida, and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride still exists in Disneyland in California. But in Florida, in the Winnie the Pooh ride during the owl scene, and I've shown in my version of our ride video last August, I've shown the picture of the deed of picture of Mr. Toad handing the deed of the property to Owl. So keep your eyes open for that next time you ride that. Number 2, the Barnstormer. The Barnstormer was the very first roller coaster built at Walt Disney World just for kids. And it's a great way to introduce kids to roller coasters. It's not too fast, not too crazy. It's a kiddie coaster. And I still even ride it. That's how good it is. And my number 1, Peter Pan's Flight. Now, if you're gonna ride Peter Pan's Flight, I recommend rope dropping it because it gets packed way into the day. Way in. In fact, because of the pandemic, with Columbia Harbor House right next door to Peter Pan's Flight, they closed Columbia Harbor House during the pandemic and turned it into an extended line for Peter Pan's Flight. That's how crazy the line for Peter Pan is during the day. So if you're gonna ride it, either rope drop it or get a DAS or disability pass. So let me know in the comments what your favorite kiddie ride is. Now, as you may notice, and if you watched yesterday's picture show, I mentioned I'm going to be in a different location this week. Well, as you can see, I'm up here at Sunday River Ski Resort up in Newry, Maine. And down the way is a Maine Adaptive Sports and Recreation. Now, Maine Adaptive is a great organization that helps people with physical and mental disabilities do skiing as well as other winter and summer activities. And my mom has been on the board with them for many, many years, and she's also been in charge of their adjacent program, Veterans No Boundaries, which is a program that helps disabled war veterans do a lot of great summer and winter activities. So be sure to look them up. Sure to look up Veterans No Boundaries in Maine. It's a wonderful organization I help out with each and every year. It's a great cause. Make sure, and if you know anyone who's a disabled war veteran, I recommend that. And coming to any upcoming of their big events, because it's a great cause. So anyway, that's this week's show. If you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. Also, as always, make sure you subscribe to my friends Beth at Beth's Disney Adventures. She does amazing Disney Parks live streams each and every week on YouTube. I believe she'll be on next Wednesday and Thursday, so check her out. Also, make sure you subscribe to my friend CJ at Diz Weeks News. She is at Disney. My friend CJ at Disney Planning Guide. She hosts Diz Weeks News every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully she'll get back into it this coming week. Also, make sure you subscribe to my good friend Julie at Dream to Stream. She does amazing Disney live streams on YouTube and Facebook. And if you have a big Zoom event and coming up and you want someone very clever and funny to host it, make sure you contact Cameron Matthews Entertainment, and he'll make your next event one to remember. And for the latest attraction news, make sure you check out my good friends over at Attractions Magazine. And until next time, may the mouse be with you.